to tell it like it is. At least not yet. It's really hard for a lot of people to understand how this issue with the water and the bankruptcy in the city of Detroit is affecting citizens until they actually meet someone face to face that it affects. I have 3 children that are in my home, and originally my water was cut off on May 15th of last year with no notice. I hadn't been receiving regular bills. The first thing I did was investigated my payments, because everyone I talked to at the water department gave me the same story. Well, gosh, you know, your bill's so big, you must not have paid a bill since you've been here. It was calculated, and my bill was slated that time, I think, at $5,100. But within the last 2 years, from 2012 of May through the period that my water was cut off, I had paid the water department $2,895. First of all, that's a lot of money to me. I'm a single mother. I'm a college student. I don't have a lot of money. It affected my family in many ways. The first thing I did was immediately go to the Department of Human Services to seek any type of help that could possibly be available. I was pretty much told that I wasn't getting any help. And then I was told, with my 8-year-old daughter standing next to me, well, you know, this is grounds to remove your children from the home. So my daughter freaked out. I immediately took and placed my children with friends and family members. And because I live in a neighborhood where, unfortunately, we have a lot of burglarization, I chose to stay at my home. The first thing that happened that was an effect of the water was the fact of just not having it in the home. You don't consciously think of it. You go to your faucet, you turn it on, nothing comes out, and then you're standing there like, what? You know, and then you think, well, okay, I'll buy water. I can do this. I can get through this. You go back and you think about your history. Well, you know, the prairie days, and you try to make it. You really do. You will be surprised how your mind rationalizes it. You try to make it seem like it's not that bad when it really is. So I started buying jugs of water. I think the worst thing by far that happened is that I'm sitting at home one night. It's about 2:30 in the morning, and I'm up studying, and I hear a knock at my door. And they say, it's the Detroit police. I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? They have my 8-year-old with them, who decided that she wanted to be at home. She didn't want to be where she was. And she took it upon herself to wait when everyone was asleep, unlock the door, and walk away from the home that she was in to try to come home. And just by circumstance, a Good Samaritan found her walking down the street. She walked up to a gentleman and said, I'm trying to get home. This is my address. Can you take me home? And the gentleman just happened to say, you know, I'm a good person, flag down a police officer, and they brought my child to me. And the police say, well, tell your mom what you told us. And she said, I just want to be at home. And that right there was like someone took a stake and just rammed it through my heart, because I couldn't even bring my daughter back home because of the safety, the health, and the hygiene issues. But I couldn't leave her where she was, so I had to actually bring her back home and keep it in secret. My children were ostracized at school because their uniforms weren't cleaned. My son, who has asthma, was hospitalized. I ended up in the hospital, and they thought I had the enterovirus. And this is all because of like the hygiene issues that come along with not having any water. I would have to buy like 3-gallon jugs of water, which are probably about $4 each, $3 to $4 each. I would buy 4 or 5 of those at a time. So now not only am I not able to pay my water bill, and my water's off, but the money that could have went towards the water bill is going towards buying water. You know, and it's just the things that you literally learn. I could go on Survivor and I would probably win. That's how I've learned to live, because I've learned how to recycle water, which literally I would boil water, I would wash my dishes. I would use that water to flush the toilet. It totally changes the way you eat, because anything that required me to cook with water and the water ended up being evaporated, that was out of it. Couldn't cook that anymore. It's just a constant ostracization. Even though there were other people in my neighborhood that were getting their water cut off, I was by far the most vocal, because I just got to a point where I was like, look, I can't take this anymore, and I have to stand up for myself. You know, I literally went after Daryl Latimer myself. I didn't want to talk to the representatives. I didn't want to go to the window. I wanted to talk to him. I couldn't get to Sue McCormick, but I was trying to. It's unbelievable the pain that a person goes through when they have no water. I mean, you even calculate how much you drink, because you're like, okay, I can't waste water, so I won't drink this. I'll drink a cup a day. You literally become to start rationing everything you do. It's absolutely horrible. I joined the lawsuit, participated, I provided any information I could. I followed all of my lawyers, guidance that they told me to do, and I worked really hard against the water company. I got my water cut back on originally July of 2014. I was still struggling to pay the bill. I was trying to get in the programs. The problem was, with my bill being so high, most of the programs that were out there to help people with their water bill, I didn't qualify for, because your water bill would have to be $2,000 and down, or $2,500 and under. So I didn't qualify for any of these programs, so I'm still struggling to pay my water bill by myself. Then they decided they wanted to cut me off again in October of 2014. And that time, I think my water was off for 2 weeks. And that was right around the time that the UN rapporteurs came here to speak to us. And I literally was sick when I met with the UN rapporteurs. I literally left the town meeting at Wayne Community College and went directly to the emergency room and was hospitalized for a week and a half. And, you kind of don't want to let the medical professionals know why you could be sick, because the whole time you're thinking, what can I do to make sure that I don't get my kids taken away from me? Or I don't get put out of my house, because then I'll have a bigger problem to deal with. Right now, I'm in a predicament where I can't move even if I want to, because I have a huge water bill, and it has to be, pretty much wiped out at a zero balance for me to even move anywhere. So I'm still fighting the water company. Matter of fact, just left there this morning. Didn't go well, but I'm hopeful. And I try to be positive. It's been really hard to be positive, but I'm trying to. It's just an unbelievable circumstance. I wouldn't wish it on my enemy. It's that bad. The things that, and the thing is that even though I can stand here and say, well, I went through this, I still know that there are people out there that are going through, that are suffering worse than I am, because they're maybe in worse circumstances than I am. They may be elderly and not able to get out and get water, or there may be more children in the home. So when I speak about it, I'm not just speaking just for me. It's for anyone that goes through this. It's a really hard situation. So I guess that's about all I can say about it.
Well, I'd like to say, 40 years ago, when I was sitting in a chair like that, like these law schools, you were the kind of person I was dreaming about representing. They were giving me some crap about representing rich people, and I thought that was boring. It was you. How did the city of Detroit get in the financial mess it's in? Jerry Goldberg can tell you that.